disclosure. We have to put a disclosure on my video saying we don't wear makeup on my channel. Just move along. One day. Hi guys, welcome to my very first YouTube video ever. If you don't know me, my name is Lauren. I call myself the Crazy Clown Loach Lady. They are my favorite fish, and I walk around pet stores buying stuff that has clown loaches on it, whether I need it or not. If it has a clown loach, I buy it. My email is clown loach related. You're gonna see a lot of them on my channel as well. So today's video, I want to talk about some of my favorite fish foods, some fish foods that haven't worked well for me, some stuff that I think is overrated, underrated, makes your tank dirty, all of that. So stay tuned and we're gonna figure it out together.
Yesterday.
You know, the coronavirus is like a serious thing and I don't want to joke about it, but I've never ever seen this place not like where people are running into me or we're cart bumping or where there's kids running around and there's dogs peeing on the floor. Like, I've never seen it like this. Natalie, are the dogs worth $2.39? All right. Look, we got a brown dog and we have a white dog, so. All right. You can't take me anywhere. But all I do is spend money. Throw it in the cart. Thank you. High five. Thank you. 11? Yeah. Honestly, oh no.
Have a good one.
No. Thank you.
24 hours later.
So I'm going to start by saying brands don't mean anything to me. I don't care if it's top fin, I don't care if it's tetra, I don't care if it's a brand I've never heard of. I'm just going to grab the food and I'm going to flip it over and start reading the fat, the protein, the moisture, the stuff I think really matters. So the first thing I grabbed right here is something that I feed. Every food I show you today is going to be stuff that I use in my own personal tanks. So this brand happens to be top fin, and it's freeze-dried red shrimp. So I'm a huge fan. My biggest tip I can give you is freeze-dried instead of frozen. I don't personally feed frozen food. I have before. I feed it like a treat. So I don't have frozen food to show you, but I'll go ahead and either up here or up here, depending on my editing, if I can figure out editing, because we're gonna grow my channel together, guys. This is my first video. We're gonna see if I can edit pictures of ingredients right here, right up there, for the frozen food because I don't have it. So what I would normally do is in the store, flip this over to the back, and I would look at the protein, the minimum crude protein. Freeze-dried foods have way more protein than live, than frozen, or flake. Myself personally, I do not feed live food. If it happens, it happens. I have cichlids. If they have babies and, you know, some of the babies are getting picked off by tank mates, that's fine. I deworm my fish. I don't think I've ever had any disease outbreaks, anything with ick or anything like that. So those are the major reasons why I don't feed live food. I don't like it, makes me uncomfortable. I'm not like a vegan or anything like that, but it makes me sad. I'm the person that will buy ghost shrimp and put them in a tank because their friend is not food. So, freeze-dried. My number one tip is freeze-dried food. I think it has a lot more protein. You'll see I have freeze-dried shrimp, bloodworms. The bloodworms, again, these also happen to be top fin. I don't look at the brands. This is 50% minimum protein. So that's really good. I feel like in the wild, the fish would be eating insects. They would be eating baby fish, shrimp, anything they could find. Lots of insects, maybe worms, and that's all gonna be really high in protein, whereas let me grab a flake. So this is tetra. I do feed this. I feed it because I have a few tetras in my community tank behind me, and I think it's easier for them to eat. So looking at this does have 46% protein, but if you look at the actual ingredients, fish meal is not that great of a product. It's not very high quality. The second ingredient is dried yeast. So yeast is like just a filler. It's inflammatory. This stuff has wheat in it. Another yeast extract. I just don't like it. I would rather feed a more natural food, in my opinion. But I do feed this to my betta. I do feed this to my tetras, just because it's easy for them to eat. Has some little tetras on the picture. Bug bites, moving right along. This is one that I just started feeding. For those of you who don't know me, I'm really active on Facebook in fish groups. Discus groups, cichlid groups, American, central cichlids, dysfunctional cichlids. And people talk about bug bites all the time. And these say that they're made in Canada. I believe Fluval owns this brand. And I wanted to look at the ingredients in the store, but you have to peel the label. You have to flip and peel the label, and I didn't really feel comfortable doing that in the store, so I just bought them. They were like $5. This one is from House of Tropicals in Maryland, so this was $5.49. That's fine for me, but I'll go ahead and flip it over and read the ingredients for you guys now. So the first ingredient is dried black soldier fly larva. The second ingredient is salmon. So that's pretty good. That's a strong start. And for $5, I feel like that's pretty worth it. There is wheat in here. Wheat is the third ingredient, but there's also green peas, there's potato, there's alfalfa. So I'm pretty happy with this too. And the thing that I always look at first is the crude protein, and this is 32%. So that's another thing. The ingredients sounded great, but there's a lot less protein than my freeze-dried stuff. So in my opinion, the freeze-dried is still winning. So I go to that pet place in York, and this is where I find this brand. I don't even know what this is called. San Francisco Bay brand. And I've bought a lot of their stuff. That pet place, they have a website. That pet place, that fish place, they do ship. This is plankton. I've also bought krill and dried bloodworms from the same brand. It says for cichlids, tetras, barbs, pictus cats, turtles, and others. Now this has 68% protein. So out of every single thing that I've showed you so far, this has the highest protein. And it looks, if you look at it, it really looks like little plankton. Like you can see it is whole freeze-dried plankton. So that's my favorite for American cichlids, for Oscars, stuff like that. Things that, they do eat live food. They are going to need more protein. That's my bet for them. They love it. They think it's a treat, but it's good for them. Betta food. I have a betta. He was a foster. His name is Aurora. We thought he was a girl, but he's a boy. And he came with betta food from his old owner. I've never bought any fish-specific food before. I've never bought betta food because I had bettas. I've never bought neon food because I had neons, anything like that. So I'm curious to look at this. I don't really use this food, but it did come with him. So we're gonna look at this together. So 38% minimum protein, not bad. But I'm seeing a lot of meal, a lot of wheat, a lot of flour, soybean meal, shrimp meal, wheat germ, corn gluten. So in my opinion, this isn't a very good food. I like to see a lot more natural stuff. So, bottom feeder tablets. I think these are great if you have cory cats, if you have bigger catfish, if you have plecos, stingrays as well. My stingray always ate pellets. We'll get to them later. I still have those. So I bought these just because they had a clown loach on them, kind of like a I don't know, like an inside joke to myself. These only have 35% protein, and I'm seeing they have wheat flour, they have fish meal, soybean meal, shrimp meal, wheat gluten. So I'm not too happy with these either. I think a lot of times when stuff has wheat and yeast and meal, they end up making your tank a little bit more dirty. So these would be something I would give these as a treat, or if some of my bottom feeders were looking a little skinny, I would throw a couple of these in there, but I wouldn't feed them every day. I think my tank would get cloudy. So Cichlid Gold, Hikari, I guess that's how you say that, Hikari. Got some cool cichlids, got a red Oscar on there. Was that a Mayan, either a Mayan or a red terror on there. This is 32% protein. Fish meal, flaked corn, rice bran, wheat flour, soybean, corn gluten. So I'm not too happy with this one either. The thing I do like about this is it comes in different sizes. They're measured by millimeters, I believe. Yeah, 1.7 to 2.0 millimeters. And these are pretty small. I feed these to small cichlids, baby, you know, not fry, but they're pretty tiny. So that's why I like these, because they come in all different sizes. And they say that they're color enhancing. The color enhancing diet, rapid color enhancing growth formulation. I don't know. I haven't really put it to the test. Maybe I'll do that in a future video. And this is the last thing I want to show you. These massivore pellets is what I used to feed my stingray. So he has actually passed away, but his name was Chevy, like the Corvette stingray. And these definitely made the tank dirty, I will say that, but he loved them. They would sink, and they were a pretty big size, and I think they had a lot of protein. This actually says on here that each one of these has the calories of 1.8 goldfish. So let's see, this has 47% protein, and it says that it's for an extra large pellet for big fish. So it worked pretty well for my stingray. I do feel like it made my tank cloudy though. Color enhancing, extremely flavorful, more balanced nutrient profile than live food. And I do agree. I'm not against live food, you know, fish eat fish in nature, but I've never fed live food. I don't trust it, I don't like it. Parasites, worms, tapeworms, horsehair worms, just overall sickness. I don't like it. I don't want to have to deworm my fish more often than usual. And if you think about it, when you get new fish, if you quarantine new fish, why would you be giving live fish to your fish that you have had in a tank for years? You know they're healthy, they have no diseases. If you're going to quarantine new fish, why aren't you quarantining your live food? So the suggestion I have, if you really want to do live food, what works really well is having live bearers like guppies or mollies, I guess preferably mollies, breeding in your house where you know they're taken care of, you know they're healthy, you know they're disease free, and then you're just keeping the parents and plopping the babies into your cichlid tank. I know people on some of my monster fish groups on Facebook have had convict colonies. Convicts breed like crazy. They're cheap fish, they're territorial, but they're small, so they don't do a ton of damage if you have like a large cichlid tank, and they breed rapidly. They're almost a nuisance fish at this point. Some people live in Florida, live in Texas, they're gonna go out and catch tilapia or Mayan cichlids, and they're gonna breed them in their house, and they have perpetual live bait. So we'll go from there. You can't hit the curb. That'll make people question my intelligence. I need dog food, and I just left the dog section because I can't stop thinking about fish. I already have my straw. I'm so excited. We're gonna time lapse this. Technical difficulties, but we both have boots on.